Your company wants to automate the travel request process. To start a travel request, you need to submit a travel request form with information like date of birth, employee ID, as well as other travel expense details. Based on the approval amount and purpose of visit, a decision determines whether the request is auto-approved or requires sequential or parallel approval, and who the approvers are. If the travel request is approved, it goes through a cost and compliance check, which is performed by another process. Otherwise, the request is returned to the employee for resubmission. The travel request gets fulfilled by another process if it passes the compliance test. If not, it gets cancelled. An error in the request fulfillment results in an invalid data business exception, which also cancels the request. Now, how do you turn the use case into a process in Process Cloud Service? Using flow elements. There are 4 types of flow elements for creating a business process: task, event, gateway, and sequence flow. Tasks represent the work performed by a business process. Human tasks are used when a process participant performs the work. This can be a simple interaction such as submitting the travel request. In the travel request process, submitting the travel request is a submit human task. Approving a travel request is also a human task, but with a more complicated workflow that requires input from multiple process participants. System tasks define interactions across business processes. In the travel request process, the cost and compliance check can be implemented by using send and receive tasks to communicate with a system or process outside the current flow. There are 2 types of events. Start and end events define the start and end point of a process. For example, the travel request process starts with a form start event and ends with a none-type end event. Intermediate events either occur within the typical flow of your process or can interrupt your process. In the travel request process example, you will need an error-type intermediate event to catch the invalid data business exception from the fulfillment task. Gateways determine the flow of your business process. When there are several optional or conditional tasks that need to be performed at the same time, you can use an inclusive gateway. When there are several required tasks that need to be performed at the same time, you can use a parallel gateway. In the travel request process, the approver will either approve or reject the request. That's when you need an exclusive gateway, because only one of the paths out of the gateway is taken. The last flow element is a sequence flow. Sequence flows connect flow elements. They also show the direction of a process flow. For the travel request process, you need to define who are the requesters and who are the approvers. In Process Cloud Service, swim lanes associate actions with different roles. For example, one swim lane for the requester, employee, and another swim lane for the approver, manager. Each swim lane displays the role of the person responsible for performing the tasks within that swim lane. Now, can you design the travel request process for your company? Here is one possible solution. Thank you for watching.